What happens when the person you count on most just doesn't hear you until your whole world comes crashing down? Sometimes, the moment that breaks you open is the only one that brings you together. Have you ever felt unheard? Tell us in the comments. The fridge hums in the background as I wash dishes, wrist aching. I tuck my phone under my chin, scrolling through unread school emails, heart pounding a little faster each time I see budget cuts. My stomach clenches. I grab my worry stone, a smooth gray pebble I've had since I was 8, and rub it with my thumb until it almost burns. Dylan calls out from the pantry, voice cheerful. Want a snack? I'm thinking of popcorn. Or chips, if you're brave enough for the spicy kind. He laughs softly, not looking my way. I shake my head, trying to push the fear down. Dylan, what if they actually lay people off this year? I heard a rumor in the lounge. My voice cracks. I try to hide it. He shrugs as he digs out the popcorn bowl. They always say that, Aud. Every year's the same. You worry too much. He tosses a bag in the microwave, looks at his phone. Besides, you're a rock star teacher. They'd be crazy to let you go. I watch the red light on the microwave blink, words building up inside me. It's not just work. My chest feels weird sometimes, and I get shaky at night. What if something's actually wrong? Dylan waves me off, flipping through channels with the remote as the popcorn pops. Come on, don't stress over nothing. You're healthy. Dr. Marshall said all your checkups were fine. If you keep thinking about stuff, it'll just make you sick. I hug my elbows, feeling alone even when we're in the same room. I can't help it. I think about you being late, or if something happened to me when you're not home. It keeps me awake. He sinks into the couch, hand already in the bowl. I'll text more, okay? Seriously, life's too short to worry this much. He crunches a chip, grins at me. You gotta let it go, babe. I rub my worry stone harder and force a thin smile. I wish it were that easy. He nods at the TV, eyes on a basketball game. It is, though. You're gonna drive yourself crazy if you keep looking for things to be scared of. Just let yourself relax. A long silence falls. I carry a mug of tea up to bed, wrapping both hands around it, chest tight and heavy. Dylan doesn't notice when I leave. Lying in the dark, I scroll through my phone. Social media posts about anxiety, online forums filled with strangers' worries that sound just like mine. I tap open a thread called When They Don't Get It. Tears prick my eyes, vision blurring as I read story after story of people trying to explain the storm inside. I roll the worry stone between my palms, remembering how it once fit in my dad's hand. He used to say, when you're scared, talk it out. Don't hold it by yourself. But right now, I feel like no one's listening. The house creaks around me. A car engine hums outside, fading away. Dylan's shadow passes by the hallway light, laughter from the TV drifting up the stairs. I pull the covers tight, stomach knotting up just like my thoughts. He thinks I'm just worrying again, just being Audrey. But I know this fear isn't small. It feels like a shadow at my shoulder, and it's growing. I close my eyes, stone clutched in my fist, and feel the loneliness settle. For the first time, I wonder if he'll ever really hear me before I fall apart. Have you ever tried to explain your worries, only to feel brushed off like you're making it all up? Did it change how safe you felt? Tell me in the comments. Your words might help someone who feels alone in their fears tonight. The school hallway echoes with voices, teachers swapping papers, lockers clanging behind me. Even normal sounds set my teeth on edge. I hear a snippet near the copier. Superintendent's talking about more layoffs. My heart jumps. I clutch my stack of worksheets tighter, but pretend not to listen. During the morning drill, the loudspeaker blares, shrill and unexpected. My hands shake. I hide it, counting breaths until the all-clear bell rings. A pile of ungraded essays sits on my desk, but I can't focus. My mind races with what-ifs, job, safety, health, bills, things I can't even name sometimes. Lunchtime brings a moment's peace. Morgan waits for me on the bench outside. 2 big brown bags, and a grin that's wider than the sky. Best friend burger therapy, she calls, waving fries like a white flag. I sit beside her, smile as wide as I can manage. She nudges me. What happened this time, Aud? You look like you got up on the wrong planet. I sigh, leaning back, shoulders tense. It's everything. Budgets. Could lose my job. My heart won't calm down. I couldn't sleep last night. Not even with that podcast you sent. She hands me a soda, her eyes soft. Stress is a monster, girl, but you're tougher. Remember when I flunked my first test in nursing school? I cried for a week. You talked me through it. I pick at my burger, barely hungry. That was different. You were just nervous. I feel like I can't breathe half the time. Like everything's heavy, even good stuff. Morgan's voice lowers. You want to take a break? Call in sick tomorrow? We could, I don't know, hit the lake, skip town, play hooky. I shake my head. I can't. I'm scared to get behind, to lose track. I don't want Dylan to know how bad it's gotten. He says it's just another spiral, like it's nothing. Morgan's expression hardens for a second. That's not nothing, Audrey. It's not. You deserve someone who listens, even if they don't get it. She nudges my elbow, trying to tease. If he can't hack it, I'll steal you for Girls' Week. Just say the word. I laugh, but it's thin around the edges. Just being with her helps, even if my fear doesn't fade. Back at home, the tension builds. Dirty laundry piles up where it shouldn't. Takeout containers stack by the sink. Dylan walks in, keys jangling, whistling some old song. He drops his bag by the door, peeks in the fridge, and frowns. Did we forget the groceries again? I rub my eyes, not trusting my voice. Sorry, I lost track. I hear the sharpness, a snap I didn't mean to show. He shrugs it off, rattles the empty milk carton, and grins. That's just life with you, Aud. You get on a worry roll, and the whole house freezes. He tries to make it a joke, but I feel the sting. I mumble, it's not funny. Dylan steps over the laundry. Okay, no worries. We'll order out. I'll get you your favorite noodles. He ruffles my hair, but I flinch away without meaning to. Later, lying in bed, he scrolls his phone while I stare at the ceiling, counting the cracks. I want to say I'm sorry for being distant. I want to say I'm really not okay, but I can feel him waiting for normal Audrey, the one who lets things go. I can't find her right now. He finally breaks the quiet. Want to watch a movie? Or is the anxiety monster back again? He means it like a tease, but it drives the wedge deeper. I fake a yawn. Too tired. He shrugs, presses play, and lets the TV fill the room. I roll over and slide my worry stone between my palms, pressing it until my fingers ache. The calendar on my nightstand glows in the dim light. I pick up a pen and mark another sleepless night. That makes 2 weeks straight. A long, silent line of worry staring back at me. Sometimes I wonder if I'm disappearing, day by day, from the inside out, and I don't know how to say it in a way that'll finally be heard. Have you ever tried to share your fears and felt dismissed or invisible? Did it shift how safe you felt or how much you trusted the person you love? Share your story in the comments. Your honesty could help someone else recognize they're not alone in the dark. The house settles around me. I close my eyes, wishing someone would see the line of worry before it grows any longer. Plates clatter and silverware scrapes softly against china. The dining room is warm, filled with the smell of roast chicken and Janice's famous cornbread. Laughter bubbles between bites, but I can feel the weight behind my eyes before I even sit down. Janice folds her napkin neatly and leans in toward Chloe. Honestly, I miss when people were tougher. These days, everyone has a crisis. She air quotes the word, her voice light and amused. You stub your toe, and suddenly it's a trauma. Chloe chuckles, politely, stabbing at her green beans. Dylan grins beside me like he's used to the joke. I try to keep my voice calm. Some people are really struggling, though. Anxiety's not always visible. Janice lifts her eyebrows. I didn't mean it personally, Audrey. Of course not. She dabs her mouth. It just feels like people lean into drama too much these days. I glance down at my untouched plate, stomach twisting. I open my mouth again, quietly. It's just been hard lately, with work, with everything. Dylan laughs lightly, cutting in before I can finish. She's been on a stress streak. I told her to unplug for a week. Everyone chuckles, except me. I force a smile, but the words behind my lips feel like glass. Audrey, love, Janice says kindly, passing another dish toward me. Just don't let your nerves run your life. Power through. That's what we used to do. I swallow hard. My fingers press tight around my napkin now. That's not how it works. Dylan nudges my arm. Take it easy. We're just talking. I am talking, I say, sharper than I mean to. The table goes silent for half a second too long. Janice picks up her wine glass as if nothing happened. Chloe glances at me with soft eyes, but says nothing. I stand up abruptly. Excuse me. The bathroom door clicks shut with a soft snap. I lock it, and the tears come hard and fast. I grip the sink with one hand, fishing the worry stone from my purse with the other. Smooth, cold, familiar. I press it to my chest. A memory flashes. Me, maybe 7 years old, sitting next to my dad on the back porch. He'd just blocked out my mom's stress with that same quiet calm I'd always admired. When someone's hurting, he whispered, you don't just listen with your ears. You listen with your eyes. You see them. I stare at myself in the mirror, eyes red, cheeks blotchy. I was trying to be seen, but all they saw was someone being difficult. I wipe my face, ruining whatever makeup managed to survive. The worry stone warms slightly in my hand. I whisper to myself, it's okay to feel this. Back at the table, laughter has returned. My empty chair quietly stares back at me, plate still full, food now cold. I grab my coat from the hallway and step outside into the night. The car is cold. I grip the steering wheel with both hands, trying to breathe. My chest is tight. I blink through tears that blur the road. He didn't stand up for me. Again, he talked over my pain with jokes. And I can't keep holding it in. Have you ever tried to open up just a little, only to be talked over, laughed off, or brushed aside? How did that moment make you see your relationship differently? Tell me below. You never know who else might need to hear your heartbreak, to feel a little less alone in theirs. As I pull out of the driveway, the light behind Janice's curtain flickers. I glance once at that house, once at the plate I didn't touch, and drive into the dark, hands tight on the wheel, the worry stone warming in my palm. The hallway light leaks through the blinds, casting pale stripes on the bedroom floor. My chest feels crushed, hands tingling. It's early, so early. The house hasn't woken yet, but something inside me has. A panic, sharp and choking, not just nerves. My heart pounds so fast it hurts. I sit up, sweat cold on my temples. I can't breathe. I clutch the blanket, gripping it with both fists. My legs shake. The world tilts. "Dylan," I croak, voice thin and barely there. He's on his side, scrolling his phone. "Huh? It's not even 6, he mumbles, annoyed. "Dylan," I say again, louder, but my throat closes. I gasp, eyes wide. I can't breathe." He finally looks up, confused. "What's wrong?" "You're okay, Aud. It's just a bad dream." He rises, unsure, shuffling closer. "Come on, don't work yourself up." But the room spins. My vision closes in at the edges. I try to stand, stumble, drop to my knees on the soft rug. I clutch my chest, gasping. "Please, help." The words cut off. My skin hums, blood roaring in my ears. Dylan's eyes widened. For a second, he does nothing, just stuck. Stuck like he wants this to all be in my head again. But then my breath hitches, body crumpling to the floor. Panic snaps him awake. He rushes to me, voice shaking now. Okay, Audrey. Look at me. Look at me, babe." He crouches beside me, grabbing my shoulders. "Talk to me, please. Can you look at me?" I try, but my eyes dart everywhere. Tears streak my face. "Can't breathe. Dylan." His hands hover above mine, then wrap around them tight. "Audrey, listen." He's searching for something. Anything. Okay. 5 things in the room. Can you see the blanket? The lamp? The photo? Our wedding photo on the dresser? He fumbles, voice thick with fear, but softening. "You told me once. Count fingers. Feel your toes on the floor. Please, Aud, can you do that? Try to wiggle your toes with me." I concentrate, just barely. I stretch my legs, toes buzzing. "That's good. Good. Keep going. Keep breathing. I'm here. I am not leaving." He presses his hand to my back, steady, grounding. Squeeze my hand, strong, just like that. He tries to breathe with me, in and out, but I'm gulping air, still shaking. He leans closer, staring me in the eyes. "Repeat after me, Audrey. It's okay. I'm safe. I've gotten through this before." I sob, but force the words out, voice shaking. "It's okay. I'm safe. I've gotten through this before." He squeezes my hand tighter every time I repeat each phrase. "It will pass," he says, tears filling his own eyes. "It will pass," I echo, gripping his shirt. He's crying now, voice cracking. "You're not alone. I hear you. I'm here." Slowly, tiny breaths come back. The wall of stress starts to melt, just a little. The air feels lighter, even as my jaw aches from clenching. After endless minutes, my hands stop shaking so much. My heart slows, even if just a little. "I'm sorry," I whisper, eyes squeezing shut. "I'm so sorry." But Dylan shakes his head, forehead pressed to mine. "You don't need to be sorry. I'm sorry it took me so long to listen. I'm sorry I kept brushing it off." He helps me sit up, arm wrapped around my shoulders. "Can you move to the couch?" I nod, exhaustion settling in. My head aches, but I lean into him, letting him help me. Blankets pile around me. He finds my worry stone on the nightstand, places it in my hand, then, without thinking, folds my fingers around his, holding us together. Dylan sits silently, doesn't flinch when I start to cry again. For the first time in months, he just stays. He hums quietly, rubbing my back in circles, letting me talk when I want, holding still when I don't. I notice the sun peeking through the window, softly brightening the room. Have you or someone you love ever faced a panic attack or deep anxiety? What helped? Or what did you wish someone had done at that moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your words could help someone else feel seen and supported, right when it matters most. Dylan shifts on the couch, our hands still locked, the old worry stone warm between us. In this new, fragile morning, we breathe together, for the first time in too long. The curtains are barely open, letting in the soft gray light of morning. The house is quiet except for the faint whistle of the kettle in the kitchen, and my slow breaths as I sit curled on the couch, a thick blanket pulled to my chin. My eyes are puffy, but the panic has faded, leaving behind a soreness like I've run a marathon in my own chest. Dylan walks in from the hallway, rumpled in sweatpants, one hand clutching 2 mugs. He sets one in front of me. Chamomile, no caffeine, he says, and his voice is careful now, soft, almost gentle. He hesitates, unsure, then sits beside me, not close, but not far either. I wrap my hands around the mug. "You're not going to work?" He shakes his head, staring at the mug in his lap. I called out, told them I needed a family day. A silence settles. Not sharp, not cold, just full. I finally let myself drop the mask. I'm so tired. I feel like I could sleep for a week. But inside, I'm still running. He nods, looking down. "You scared me," he says, voice barely above a whisper. "I've never seen you like that before. I'm sorry I didn't get it sooner." Or tried to joke it away. A knot loosens in my throat. "I've tried to tell you, but sometimes it feels like shouting in a storm. I felt so alone, Dylan, like nobody could see how bad it was getting." He grimaces, guilt on his face. "I know, whenever you said you were worried, I thought if I brushed it off, it would feel smaller. But you needed me to see the big stuff, not make it tiny." I wipe at my eyes, the relief raw in my chest. It helps, hearing you say that. Sometimes I thought I was the only one who cared, or the only one scared. He reaches for my hand, thumb rubbing small circles across my knuckles. "I was scared too. When you collapsed, yesterday, it felt like I'd failed you. I didn't know what to do except hold on and hope I didn't make it worse." The clock ticks. My heartbeat slows to match it. The words start to come easier. "It's exhausting," I say softly, pretending the worry's under control, hiding how much I'm breaking inside. I think that made it worse. He squeezes my hand. "You don't have to hide anymore. Not from me. Even if I don't always understand right away, I'll listen. I'll try, Audrey. For real." We talk, slow and halting at first, about why it took so long, about his habit of fixing things, or laughing problems away, about my need to be seen, not solved. I confess how many nights I lied and said I was fine, because it felt easier than feeling brushed aside. He admits he sometimes shut down out of fear, worried if he had to face my anxiety, he'd have to face his own. When tears start again, they're softer, cleansing even. I nod, finally able to ask, "How can we make it better? If there's a next time, what would help you help me?" He thinks, then answers, "Ask me to listen, not fix. Just sit and let you talk, even if you have to say it twice. And I'll do my part and try not to turn away or make it a joke." He glances at the table beside the bed, where the old worry stone sits, flecked and smooth. He gets up, takes the stone, and places it into a little dish right by the lamp. "Let's keep this here, somewhere we both see it, so we don't forget again." I smile, the weight inside me lighter. "Deal." He wraps his arms around me, not saying a word, holding on like he finally knows how much it means. The rest of the morning is slow. Soft music on the radio, sunlight slipping across the kitchen floor. No rush to be anywhere. For the first time in a long while, I let myself just feel. No mask, no rush to tidy it up. Later, with Dylan beside me reading the paper, I dust off an old spiral notebook from college. The cover is bent, pages blank, except for the first. My name written over and over in a dozen hopeful styles. I take a deep breath, write the date, and start. "This is what I'm scared of. This is what I hope for. This is what I want him to know. The pen scratches, loud in the quiet room. My words pour out. Fear of losing my job, of fainting in public, of not being enough, for him or myself. I write what it's like to try to be brave every day. What it means to trust that somebody will finally listen. Dylan peeks over, knocks his knee gently against mine. He gives me a slow grin. Keep going. I want to hear it all. I really do. I nod, tears gathering, but not falling. For the first time, I believed him. Have you ever reached a turning point where someone finally listened and it changed everything? How did it feel to open up or to be the one who truly paid attention? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might give someone else the courage to let the future begin. The daylight shifts. I close my notebook, feeling a tiny hope spark inside that this honesty, gentleness, just listening might finally be enough. The community center hums with quiet voices, the low rumble and clatter of folding chairs. Audrey sits beside Dylan, their hands close enough to touch, but resting uncertain on their knees. She glances around. Other couples, single folks, friends, all quietly waiting. A circle of hope and discomfort, everyone trying, in their own way, to feel heard. A gentle voice draws their attention. The workshop leader stands in the center, her presence calming. "Thank you for coming," she says. "Tonight is about learning to really hear each other, not just words, but the heart beneath." Dylan shifts in his seat, eyes drifting to the paper sign taped on the door. Active listening and support. Audrey holds her worry stone, smoothing its edge with her thumb. The leader's voice softens. When someone says, "I'm stressed," what do you think that really means? What else might they be feeling? Audrey feels her chest tighten. "Sometimes it means they are scared," she says, quiet but steady. "Or they feel alone, or not enough." Several heads nod around the circle. Dylan looks at her, surprise flickering in his gaze. Maybe because it's the most open she's sounded all week. The group pairs up for an exercise. "Tell your partner something heavy that you've never quite had the words for," says the leader. And the other person, "Just listen. Don't fix. Don't jump in. Just be there." Audrey turns to Dylan, a tremor in her voice. "I get scared of not mattering. Sometimes I worry if I disappeared, nobody would notice for hours, even at home." Dylan pauses, really stops. He looks straight at her this time, not brushing it off. I didn't know you felt that way." His fingers twitch, as if unsure whether to take her hand. The leader glances around, encouraging eye contact and gentle nods. Audrey watches how others struggle, too. A man wrings his hands, a woman's knee bounces with nervous energy. Someone near them shares, "I used to think I had to hide all my pain. It just made it bigger." Another admits, "I was scared to speak up, so I started snapping at people for no reason." After the circle, the leader introduces a breathing exercise. She invites everyone to close their eyes, inhale deeply, count together, and slowly exhale. Dylan's and Audrey's hands find each other, uncertain, then sure. Dylan whispers, "Thank you for saying that, really. I want to change. I want to show you that you matter." Audrey visibly relaxes. "Thank you for listening." After the workshop, the sky outside has faded to pale blue. Audrey's best friend Morgan waits in the lobby, coffees in hand, and a big grin cracked wide. "So, how'd it go?" she asks. Audrey takes the cup, voice lighter. "Learning to name emotions is harder than I thought. But it felt good." To try, Morgan's usually unbreakable smile fades for a second as she talks about her own tough week. Night shifts, angry patience, just burnout. You ever feel like the world expects you to be fine, even on your worst days. She laughs, but her eyes are tired. Audrey hugs her. I do now. Dylan stands awkward nearby, then blurts, I grew up not talking about stuff. My dad, after my mom got sick, he never said a word. I thought he was strong for pretending nothing was wrong. But, looking back, he just didn't know how to share his pain. Morgan's gaze softens. It takes guts to admit that. Audrey squeezes Dylan's hand, and he doesn't let go. Walking home, the neighborhood breathes with life. Kids shout over a baseball game. A bat cracks. Someone cheers. Audrey and Dylan slow down, soaking in the evening air. I want us to keep practicing, Audrey says. I want this real talk, even when it's hard. Dylan nods, quieter than before, but steady. Let's go somewhere new this summer. No work, no stress, just us. He pauses. I want you to feel safe, no matter what. Audrey grins, her hope returning. Road trip? I'd love that. They keep walking, laughter from the park mixing with the smell of cut grass. In that moment, with hands linked and old habits finally cracking, they take the first step toward a future filled with more listening and less fear. Have you ever realized you'd been ignoring someone's pain? What did you do to make it right? Or do you wish someone had paused to listen for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone who needs courage to try again. The sun peeks through the curtains, painting the kitchen with soft light. I find Dylan by the refrigerator, writing something small and careful. He sticks a bright blue note beside the coffee maker. You're stronger than you think. His handwriting is a little crooked, but the words spark a gentle comfort deep inside me. He looks over, managing a hopeful smile. Morning check-in. It's your turn, he teases, nudging a pen my way. I take the cue, scribbling back. Thanks for listening. I stick my note on the bathroom mirror, right where he'll see it next. It's a new habit, these sticky notes. Tiny reminders that we're both trying, even on the toughest days. Throughout the week, encouragement pops up everywhere. On the dashboard in my car, one step at a time. On the fridge, today, just breathe. On Dylan's keychain, I slip my chipped, old worry stone, the one worn smooth by years of fidgeting, dangling next to his grocery list tag. He notices it that night, holding the keyring between his fingers. Family rock, huh? He asks. I nod, smiling. For rough days. Pass it back if you need me to hold it a while. Late one afternoon, Dylan pauses in the living room. Audrey, about dinner at my mom's last month. I was wrong, dismissing you in front of it. Everyone, brushing off what you said. I just wanted to make things easier, but I see now it made you feel even more alone. I'm sorry. His mother, Janice, sets a mug down and listens, surprised. She shifts in her chair, voice softer than usual. I appreciate you saying that, Dylan. Turning to me, she adds, I'd like to hear more, Audrey. Your side. How it felt for you. Whenever you're ready. My throat tightens, but I nod. Thank you. That matters more than I can say. Trust doesn't flood back all at once, but it comes, slow, steady, stitched into our routines. Some mornings, Dylan's the one who asks, Bad night? I answer honestly, even when I'm shaky. Some evenings, I catch him staring at my sticky notes, tracing the words with his finger, like he's trying to memorize the feeling. At dinner, if I grow quiet, he slips the worry stone across the table, eyes gentle. On his rough days, he passes it back to me. No words needed. We start calling it our family rock. Chloe, his sister, notices. You two trading rocks like baseball cards now? She laughs. I grin. It's how we check in. No judgment. Janice invites me to share my story with Dylan's family on Sunday. I'm nervous, hands trembling, but I steady myself, with the worn stone in my palm. I talk about anxiety, not as a problem to fix, but as a part of me I'm learning to understand. Janice nods, listening in a way she never did before. As spring break nears, trust has grown. Dylan plans a small getaway, just the two of us. Time for a weekend that's just ours, he says, folding my favorite sweater into the suitcase. The worry stone sits on top, shining in the sunlight, the soft edges fitting perfectly in my hand. Before we lock the door, I look at him and ask, "We're good." He squeezes my hand, genuine. "We're better than before. Thanks for coming back to me, even when I messed up. No more hiding, okay?" We laugh, hearts light, stepping out into the fresh air, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. In the rearview mirror, I spot the sticky note Dylan left on the dashboard. "We've got this." Rebuilding trust doesn't come from one apology or a single big gesture. It's the rush of tiny efforts, notes, stones, check-ins that teach us how to hold each other close, even on shaky days. Love is work, but it's also the promise I'll keep showing up, especially when things get hard. Have you ever had to rebuild trust after a rough patch? What small steps, words, or tiny rituals helped you find your way again? Share your story in the comments. Someone out there might need your hope more than you know. As we pull away for our weekend escape, the suitcase and old worry stone ride in the back seat. Simple signs that, together, we are ready to meet whatever comes next. The hum of summer fills the car with every mile of open road. I watch Dylan drum the steering wheel, sun lighting up his face as we cruise with the windows down. The radio spills old songs, our songs, while I lean back, feeling the warm wind on my arm. For the first time in a long while, my chest isn't tight. No shadows, no dread, just the open road and my husband humming next to me. A few months ago, I never imagined this kind of easy peace. I was scared almost every day. But after that panic attack, everything changed. Not overnight, but enough. Dylan asks me now, "How's your heart?" Or, "Any rough days this week?" Sometimes my answer is, "I'm okay." Sometimes it's just a shrug. But he listens, really listens, and never jokes it off. At a family barbecue, Dylan stands by the grill, waving a spatula, telling Chloe's kids about our old college road trips. The sun is bright. Laughter floats through the yard. Morgan brings iced tea and winks at me, mouthing, "How's the world?" I grin and lift my glass. Later, Janice joins me on the steps, offering a plate, not advice. There's an easy quiet between us now. When I mention a rough patch at work, she nods and says, "That sounds hard," and nothing more is needed. Back home, the evenings are softer. Dylan folds laundry beside me on the couch. He hands me a sticky note. "Thanks for trusting me." I tuck notes in his lunch. "Thanks for showing up." We whisper dreams while dishes clink, or sometimes just sit close, the TV murmuring in the background. At night, when old worries creep in, I reach for my worry stone. Some days, Dylan takes it first, holding it gently before passing it back. It's become less a shield and more a promise, a little rock that means, "You're not alone, not now, not ever." I remember the night that changed everything, not just for me, but for us. Pain cracked us open, yes, but it also pulled us close. We had to look at the hard stuff and decide to face it as a team. That meant asking, "What do you need?" instead of, "What's wrong with you?" It meant accepting days that were shaky, words that weren't always calm, and learning to wait for each other in the silence. It's not perfect. We still mess up, miss signals, forget a check-in, let stress run loud. But now, there's trust under the mistakes. Now, apologizing comes easy. We laugh about the tough times, grateful for every small win. If you, or someone you love, has ever been changed by facing your hardest moment together, you know how messy and hopeful it can be. What brought you closer? Patience, forgiveness, counseling, faith. How did you keep going when it felt too much? Share your story below. Someone out there might need your hope tonight. As the sun sets, Dylan and I sit by the lake, feet in the cool grass, melting ice cream cones in hand. He tells me a silly joke, and for the first time in forever, my laughter is freer, lighter. I slip my worry stone into my pocket, not because I need it anymore, but because it's a part of our story. We don't know exactly what tomorrow brings, but we trust in each other, one breath at a time. And that, more than anything, is a new beginning worth believing in. If this story reminded you of a time when pain brought you closer, not further apart, take a moment to reflect. Have you and your partner ever grown stronger after facing something hard together? What helped you rebuild trust and hope? Share your story in the comments. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you believe in real love, the kind that learns, listens, and heals, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more true stories that remind us. Sometimes, the hardest moments lead to the deepest connection, because healing starts when someone really listens. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version for captions or promos.